increase that great divide between the have and the have-nots, then in the United States, there will be a civil war. And over a 50-year period, we will probably see something of a guerrilla warfare between federal government and local municipalities. And it will be very similar to the IRA in Ireland. That's where this is going. And America will never be like it was before. But the question is it better to do that? Or is it better to live in tyranny under the Democratic Party?
Choose to move forward or to move backward, to build a future or obsess about the past, to be a nation of hope and unity and optimism, or a nation of fear, division, and of darkness.
I see a common theme through the 5 decades of my life. And that theme is globalization has a tendency to weaken America. And that, let me rephrase that. Hyper-globalization is intended to weaken America. And that the people that are the puppeteers controlling his administration want hyper-globalization. And the people that voted for Trump and Trump himself want fair trade, not free trade. Where America and its exceptionalism is leading the world to freedom and the pursuit of happiness, not the pursuit of wealth of the uber elite.
Tiger Republicans have made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chaos. They live not in the light of truth, but in the shadow of lies. But together we can choose a different path. We can choose a better path. Forward to the future. Future of possibility, a future to build and dream and hope. And we're on that path moving ahead. I know this nation. I know you, the American people. I know your courage. I know your hearts. And I know our history. This is a nation that honors our Constitution. We do not reject it. This is a nation that believes in the rule of law. We do not repudiate it.
What he's saying is a bunch of bullshit. You know why? Because there's an awful lot of people in the Republican Party that is trying to support and maintain the Constitution in all of its forms, while the Democratic Party wants to rewrite it because they keep on making a statement. It's an old document and it doesn't mean anything anymore. The Democratic Party wants socialism. But he'll tell you that we care so much about the Constitution. I think a major inflection point of where this country's going has been emblematic on when Nancy Pelosi tore up the speech right after President Trump spoke in Congress for the State of the Union address. That's where their heart is. They want to tear this nation. They want to divide this nation. They want to rewrite your Constitution. This guy is a bunch of bullshit.
This is a nation that respects free and fair elections. We honor the will of the people. We do not deny it. And this is
honor the will of the people? Last time I looked, it was through the CDC and the NIH and the tyranny of the medical establishment on forcing your business to close, forcing you to wear a mask, forcing you to take a vaccine. That's top-down government. Will the people? No, it's we will dictate to the people.
Nation that rejects violence as a political tool. We do not encourage violence. We are still Americans.
Don't encourage violence, yet his administration didn't stop the violent acts against the justices before the official ruling on the overturn of Roe versus Wade. This whole speech, and we're only 9 minutes in, has been a fucking lie.
Believes in honesty and decency and respect for others. Patriotism, liberty, justice for all, hope, possibility. We are still at our core a democracy.
No. Constitutional republic.
And yet, history tells us that blind loyalty to a single leader and a willingness to engage in political violence is fatal to democracy.
What is fatal for a constitutional republic is blind faith in a cabal of bankers and of money changers.
For a long time, we told ourselves that American democracy is guaranteed, but it's not. We have to defend it, protect it, stand up for it, each and every one of us. That's why tonight, I'm asking our nation to come together, unite behind the single purpose of defending our democracy regardless of your ideology.
Defending the democracy. See, what he's doing is creating the division that anyone that votes for Trump must be a terrorist. And we remember what was going on right after 9/11. If you happen, if you happen to see Middle Eastern, you may get pulled over. It's profiling. He's profiling. And it'll be under the guise of, well, we're trying to protect America. It's going to be the Protect America Act, that if you don't wear blue, you must be a Republican.
We're all called by duty and conscience to confront extremists who put their own pursuit of power above all else. Democrats, independents, mainstream Republicans must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy. We, the people, will not let anyone or anything tear us apart.
A catalog is a celebration of self-expression. Some people.
Today,
Amazing commercials. We won't let anyone divide us unless they're from BlackRock or the Carlyle Group or Goldman Sachs or the CCP. Right, crackhead? Biden, Hunter Biden, his family sold our country to the CCP.
we're danger around us. We cannot allow it to prevail. We hear, you've heard it, more and more talk about violence as an acceptable political tool in this country. It's not.
I'm pretty sure, on the record, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Waters all were promoting violence against Trump supporters at restaurants, at gas stations. You remember the speech from Waters? Remember the speech from Chuck Schumer on the footsteps of the Supreme Court?
It can never be an acceptable tool. So I want to say this plain and simple. There is no place for political violence in America, period. None, ever.
Unless you're a Democrat.
We saw law enforcement brutally attacked on January 6th. We've seen election officials, poll workers, many of them volunteers for both parties, subject to intimidation and death threats. And can you believe it? FBI agents just doing their job as directed, facing threats.
I'm pretty sure, as I've been watching since 9/11, that the FBI, the NSA, the CIA, and all of these intelligence agencies have been curtailing the freedoms of American citizens and surveilling them illegally. Snowden blew the whole whistle on this. The FBI and the CIA have scope creep and have been funded way too much. If you worked in corporate, you were always told that you have to become more efficient. The company grows that way, right? Are there real efficiencies that are being had at the CIA and the FBI other than larger checks being written and they hire more and more people and they implement more and more 1984 technology? Huh? The FBI and the CIA are not living away.
For their own lives, from their own fellow citizens. On top of that, there are public figures today, yesterday, the day before, predicting and all calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets. This is inflammatory. It's dangerous. It's against the rule of law.
You want to know what's really inflammatory? What Fauci did with gain of function.
We, the people, must say, this is not who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't be pro-insurrectionists and pro-American. They're incompatible. We can't allow violence to be normalized in this country. It's wrong. We each have to reject political violence with all the moral.
Why doesn't he say call out Antifa on Black Lives Matter? Huh? They're more violent in the last 2 years than any other movement.
Party and conviction this nation can muster now. We can't let the integrity of our elections be undermined. For that is a path to chaos. Look, I know politics can be fierce and mean and nasty in America.
Since I did a theoretical foundation for my PhD that was based on chaos theory, I have a little understanding of chaos theory. When you have a system that is not responding to the natural inputs, you have to inject chaos to get it back to equilibrium. And that's what's going to be happening.
I get it. I believe in the give and take of politics, in disagreement and debate and dissent. We're a big, complicated country. But democracy endures only if we, the people, respect the guardrails of the republic. Only if we, the people, accept the results of free and fair elections. Only if we, the people, see politics not as total war, but mediation of our differences. Democracy cannot survive when one side believes there are only two outcomes to an election. Either they win or they were cheated. And that's what the magic.
I'm pretty sure that in 2016, when Trump won his first term, the Democratic Party were trying to blame Russian interference and that the Democratic Party lost the election because they were cheated. Reality of the situation. He needs to start calling off on what the Democratic Party did in 2016.
Republicans are today. They don't understand what every patriotic American knows. You can't love your country only when you win. It's fundamental.
You can't only love your country if everyone that you associate with wears the color blue.
American democracy only works only if we choose to respect the rule of law and the institutions that were set up in this chamber behind me. Only if we respect our legitimate political differences. I will not stand by and watch. I will not, the will of the American people, be overturned by wild conspiracy theories and baseless evidence-free claims of fraud. I will not stand by and watch elections in this country stolen by people who simply refuse to accept that they lost. I will not stand by and watch the most fundamental freedom in this country, the freedom to vote, and have your vote counted, be taken from you and the American people. Look, as your president, I will defend our democracy with every fiber of my being, and I'm asking every American to join me. Throughout our history, America's often made the greatest progress coming out of some of our darkest moments, like you're hearing that bullhorn. I believe we can and must do that again, and we are. MAGA Republicans look at America and see carnage and darkness and despair. They spread fear and lies. Lies told for profit and power. But I see a different America. An America with an unlimited future. An America that's about to take off.
When we shed artificial expectations and choose a simple path, we feel free. Sydney's Spear, full of protein, less ingredients, less sugar. Less sets you free.
I hope.
I'm really tired of YouTube and all of its advertising.
You see it as well. Just look around. I believe we could lift America from the depths of COVID. So we passed the largest economic recovery package since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And today, America's economy is faster, stronger than any other advanced nation in the world. We have more to go. I believe we can build.
That expansionary package is curated based on the requests of BlackRock and Carlyle Group because of their positions in the green energy sector. And also, it is a means to weaken the country to provide a 21st century China.
Better America. So we passed the biggest infrastructure investments since President Dwight D. Eisenhower.
And it's inflationary.
And we've now embarked on a decade of rebuilding the nation's roads, bridges, highways, ports, water systems, high-speed internet, railroads. I believe we can make America safer. So we passed the most significant gun safety law since President Clinton.
Why is it that all of these democratic cities have so much crime when they have such strict gun laws? New York, for example, where I live, New York City, crime has increased in the last 2 years, especially last year. And de Blasio's already out. And we have a mayor that used to be an ex-cop. And he can't, get law and order. Same thing in Chicago. Same thing in Philadelphia. These cities are not safer when you have strict gun laws.
I believe
And I don't care about what he believes. What are the facts?
we could go from being the highest cost of prescriptions in the world to making prescription drugs and healthcare more affordable. So we passed the most significant healthcare reform since President Obama signed the Affordable Care Act.
And here's a classic example of we the people not being represented by Republicans or Democrats in Congress. Obamacare gets passed during Obama's administration because the Democratic Party was in control of the House. Well, Republicans get control of Congress. And what did they do? They promised that they were going to repeal it. They were going to repeal it. They were going to, push it back. And when that power shifted, while Obama was president, the Republican Party didn't do anything. This is why individuals are getting upset with the government. It's not a Republican issue or a Democratic issue. It's that we have politicians bought and paid for and captured. And they're not listening to their constituents, the ones that voted for them. Who they listen to are the constituents that have big money.
And I believe we could create a clean energy future and save the planet. So we passed the most important climate initiative ever.
BlackRock, Carlisle, that's what that was. They should have not called it the Green New Deal. It was the money deal for the BlackRock group.
The cynics and the critics tell us nothing can be done, but they're wrong. There is not a single thing America cannot do, not a single thing beyond our capacity.
That's right. And it is in our capacity to make sure that the tyranny of the Democratic Party does not continue.
We do it together. It's never easy. But we're proving in America, no matter how long the road, progress does come.
That progress that he's talking about isn't increased happiness, increased freedoms, increased liberty. That progress he's talking about is progressivism, socialism, top-down government.
Look, I know the last few years have been tough, but today, COVID no longer controls our lives. More Americans are working than ever. Businesses are growing, our schools are open. Millions of Americans have been lifted out of poverty.
Have you checked your local grocery store on the price of milk and eggs? And he has the tenacity to tell you that we're better than ever?
Millions of veterans.
Or what about all those mothers that couldn't feed their infant because of a supply chain issue with infant?
The toxic burn pits will now get what they deserve for their families and their compensation. American manufacturers come alive across the heartland, and the future will be made in America.
I'm pretty sure that was a mad moment.
No matter what the white supremacists and the extremists say, I made a bet on you, the American people, and that bet is paying off, proving that from darkness, the darkness of Charlottesville, of COVID, of gun violence, of insurrection, We can't see the light.
He made a bet on us? That seems pretty condescending to me. Who the fuck does he think he is where he can even make that statement? Oh, no, by the way, his family sold the country down the river to the CCP.
Light is now visible. Light that will guide us forward. Not only in words, but in action. Actions for you, for your children, for your grandchildren, for America. Even in this moment, with all the challenges we face, I give you my word as a Biden, I've never been more optimistic about America's future. Not because of me, but because of who you are.
When the world judged her home, she left her city.
We're going to end cancer as we know it. Mark my words. We're going to create millions of new jobs in a clean energy economy. We're going to think big. We're going to make the 21st century another American century. Because the world needs us to. That's where we need to focus our energy. Not on the past, not on divisive culture wars, not on the politics of grievance, on the future we can build together.
Wasn't it recent that he said, "Good luck, Rocket Man, to your trip to Mars," to Elon Musk? One of the most forward, futuristic thinkers that we have in entrepreneurship is Elon Musk. And he can't even agree on the forward thinking of Elon Musk. But he makes a statement that it was his party, his thoughts that are going to lead the way to America's century. But yet we have a laptop from Hunter Biden that says otherwise. It was about pay to play in the sellout of America to the CCP. Oh, and uranium's involved, and oil is involved. Precious metals are involved.
The MAGA Republicans believe that for them to succeed, everyone else has to fail. They believe America, not like I believe about America. I believe America is big enough for all of us to succeed. And that is the nation we're building, the nation where no one is left behind. I ran for president because I believe we're in a battle for the soul of this nation. I still believe that to be.
No. He ran to sell his country for the benefit of his family. That's why he ran.
True. I believe the soul is the breath, the life, and the essence of who we are. The soul is what makes us us. The soul of America is defined by the sacred proposition that all are created equal in the image of God. That all are entitled to be treated with decency, dignity, and respect. That all deserve justice and a shot at lives of prosperity and consequence. And that democracy must be defended, for democracy makes all these things possible. Folks, and it's up to us. Democracy begins and will be preserved in we, the people's habits of the heart, in our character, optimism that is tested yet endures, courage that digs deep when we need it, empathy that fuels democracy, the willingness to see each other not as enemies but as fellow Americans. Look, our democracy isn't perfect. It always has been. Notwithstanding those folks you hear on the other side there, they're entitled to be outrageous. This is a democracy. But history and common sense
It's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic with a Bill of Rights. Jackass.
good manners is nothing they've ever suffered from. But history and common sense tell us an opportunity, liberty, and justice for all are most likely to come to pass in a democracy. We've never fully realized the aspirations of our founding, but every generation has opened those doors a little bit wider to include more people than excluded before. My fellow Americans, America is an idea, the most powerful idea in the history of the world, and it beats in the hearts of the people of this country. It beats in all our hearts. It unites America. It is the American creed, the idea that America guarantees that everyone be treated with dignity. It gives hate no safe harbor. It installs in everyone the belief that no matter where you start in life, there's nothing you can't achieve. That's who we are. That's what we stand for. That's what we believe. That's precisely what we're doing. Opening doors, creating possibilities, focusing on the future. And we're only just beginning. Our task is to make our nation free and fair, just and strong, noble and whole. And this work is the work of democracy, the work of this generation, is the work of our time, for all time. We can't afford to leave anyone on the sideline.
Work of our time, all time. Pretty sure that was a JFK throwback. This guy is not JFK. None of that JFK. Was more, I think, of his time, if you put it in the context of today, probably would be much more of a centrist than what Joe Biden is. The torch has been passed to a new generation. And that generation is going to say, hell no, we are not going to take the tyranny. Now, what we do with that torch of freedom is left to be seen.
We need everyone to do their part. So speak up, speak out, get engaged, vote, vote, vote. And if we do our duty,
Vote, vote, vote. Go out and vote, vote, vote. I can interpret that meaning that for every Democrat that votes, they get 3 votes.
in 2022 and beyond, that age is still to come will say, we, all of us here, we kept the faith. We preserved democracy. We heeded our worst. We heeded not our worst instincts, but our better angels. We proved that all its imperfections, America is still the beacon to the world, an ideal to be realized, a promise to be kept. Nothing more important, nothing more sacred, nothing more American. That's our soul. That's who we truly are. And that's who we must always be. I have no doubt, none, that this is who we will be. And that we'll come together as a nation that will secure our democracy. That for the next 200 years, we'll have what we had the past 200 years, the greatest nation on the face of the earth. We just need to remember who we are. We are the United States of America, the United States of America. May God protect our nation, and may God protect all those who stand and watch over our democracy. God bless you all. Democracy. Thank you.
Constitutional Republic. That is my critique of President Biden's speech. He is the President of the United States, and he deserves respect as the President of the United States. But his party didn't give the respect that President Trump deserved as holding the office of the presidency. I feel that the Democratic Party pushing the progressive agenda will weaken America, not strengthen America. And they have many people within their party that want to rewrite the Constitution because they feel as though it's an old document. Now, it is true that George Bush Jr. said the same thing right after 9/11, that the Constitution is an old relic. It's an old paper. It's just, and that we should be able to surveil and curtail the freedoms of its citizens. But when you have a government on the Republican or the Democratic side that is looking down on people and building a surveillance state and an administrative state and not a representative government, then the only recourse that the citizens have is to try to elect officials to do the right thing and to roll back these policies. But if that doesn't work, war is the only option. Now, how is that war going to happen? Most likely it's going to be guerrilla. It's not going to be like 1861 to 1864. One, because we have urban and much more urban development, much more suburban development. Back in 1861, 1864, the majority of the country was agricultural. That kind of war is different. It's going to be more like the IRA. There's going to be 50 years of tyranny and 50 years of sacrifice and 50 years of guerrilla war. That is going to happen in the United States if